One of the very first things that I want to talk to you guys about is making sure that we're logging in correctly. And I always log in if I'm wanting share and perform with my email address. That's my username and then my unique password that I created. So this is your first official administrator's training. What you guys are going to need to know to be successful are just three things: where to go, what to do, and how to review what you did for yourself, the manager, and the employee. You're going to log into iSolved. You're going to use your email address, and then you have to find something called Share and Perform. This is the classic view, and this is the web app view. So they're going to look for Share and Perform in their menu list in the classic view. And when they log into the web app, they're going to look for the People Cloud tile and just click on Share and Perform. And then the admin settings, the main topics on this page are users and groups, organization, feedback, content manager, and performance. And then under each of those topics, there are going to be tiles that contain the rules for each of the topics. So that is where Destiny went to build. Again, you can go in and see what she's done, but you don't have to build anything. This is also where you're going to find your employees under the users and the group settings. And this is the area that we're going to visit first. So from that users page, the administrators impersonate the user, assign roles, block a user from logging in, mark them as a site administrator, and then upload or either view the documents that were put in their perform records for their personnel files. So when you impersonate someone, that's going to allow the administrator to view what that employee sees. And then when you assign a role, that's going to allow the employee to become a multi-rater or an HR manager. That's what we have for Coker University built in the platform. Blocking a user, you're typically going to use this when you've terminated someone, and then you can remove them and all of their permissions from the platform when they're termed. They don't have to be termed though. You could just block somebody. And then mark as a site administrator. This is going to provide the employee with the same credentials as you for all of Coker University. And then documents, of course, this just provides an upload button so that you can put their documents in their personal file. And then where we're going to begin here is the impersonate user option. Whenever you're impersonating them, you are allowed to go in as them. You can look at their reviews and their goals, the cycles that they're going to see on their actions tab. So in this particular print screen, I have the pending actions. They have 2 self-nominated pending. They've got a 360 feedback. So again, this one is a demo company. As you can see, this is not your employee. I just wanted to show you what it would look like when you have assigned a few things, and then all they have to do is hit view. If you are impersonating, you could do the same. You're also going to be able to perform functions. You could set up goals if you wanted to. You could give feedback if you wanted to as that employee. Now, one of the things that I want to tell you is this exit button is very, very teeny tiny. I don't know, Wes, if you've played around with impersonating yet, but it's even smaller than what I have here, and it's at the very top of the page. Once you have impersonated someone, to come up and hit exit, and then once you do that, your admin settings would appear back on the page. And here we're going to talk a little bit more about assigning the role. Roles for you guys, you're going to have a multi-rater and the HR manager. Just come over to assign role, find the role that you'll want, tick on it, and then hit assign. For that block user, when you tick on block user, this is the list I was telling you about. So you can select from which reason that you want. So these are block reason codes, and you just tick on which one you need, and then you hit block. Going forward on the users page, if you wanted to see a person that you've blocked, you do have to select block. Whenever you have someone marked as a site administrator, one of the things that we have to remember is they are going to be able to see all of Coker U's employees. So just select documents from the drop-down pick list. You'll be on the documents tab and just hit upload documents. And this, guys, is going to give you an ellipsis. It works just like all other software systems. That's why I didn't want to bore you with the details. Click the ellipsis, select the document you need from your file, and then upload. The performance reviews typically do contain things like performance ratings and questions, things like that. There's going to be 9 box there and review notes. Your performance ratings are going to be driven through your goals that were set and then aligned with the university's overall organizational goals. Your leadership box is also going to be there, and it's based off of the rating for the goals. You will have a one-on-one meeting. Then after that, you're going to have your notes. So after the manager and the employee has met with the one-on-one meeting, you've reviewed all of the notes, then you're going to sign off on that. The employees do not see the 9 box. The very first thing we want to talk about are the cycles, because this is what's driving your performance review. And it's always good to know where you're going, right? Performance, reviews, and cycles on the menu tree on the left-hand side of the page. So now that we've gotten there, and we also identified that cycles is our first step, you're going to land on the cycles tab, which is right here. And then all you're going to do is select the cycle button, so create cycle. And then you're going to create a title, a description, and then use the normal cycle. And again, Coker is going to use the fiscal year around June 2024, I think, for the employees. And this is how you would edit one. So again, this is pretty standard with every software. You're going to click on the ellipsis here, and then it would open up an edit button where you could just open this up if you needed to edit anything. And then this again is that creating the cycle. So add the title, add the description, select the cycle type, that's your normal, and then enter your dates right here. I wanted to point out that whenever you navigate back, this is after I have assigned cycles to someone, and I'm able to see the progression. And this is some of the things that we just talked about. So the cycles are going to be found again under your performance, the reviews, and the cycles. The cycle tab is going to show you this dashboard. The cycle title is going to be right here in pink. And that's what I assigned to my test employee inside of your system. So I see the title here, and then I see the participation and the percentage. So how far along are they? And right now it's at 0. But if I come up and I look at this one, I have 2 people participating. I've got the self is 50% completed. So my employee has gone in and they've began this process. And then for assigning the templates to the reviewees, we're going to navigate to performance. So over here, performance, then reviews, and then templates is going to pop out. If you're already on cycles, notice that you could just simply click on template. As you are developing things, the system's intuitive enough to understand that it's going to take you to the next step in the system. So you don't have to worry about doing too much manually for sure. It's going to be doing it for you. And then from here, we're going to go down and in the ellipsis, we're going to expand it. It then pops out and it gives you all of these options. So I am going to select Assign. After you select Assign, another little pop out happens, and this is where you would select Mid-Year Performance Evaluation. Now it's going to navigate you to a page that looks similar to this, and this is called the Employee List. So assign template employee in the list of employees. So I put a little tick box here beside my little test employee, and then I selected the Add button, and it pulled her right over here. If I ever needed to remove her, also, guys, I could just click on Remove. But at this point, I do want to keep this, so I'm going to select Save. It may be best practice for you guys if you just added folks individually. Just add your employees individually. But I thought that it would behoove you to know that you can go in and you can add all employees, or you could do a search and add employees. And that's just by clicking on this little button. And then this is a pop out that happens. So you click on add users to the cycle, and then you can add all employees or search and add employees. If you do either of those, it's going to open up the page that kind of looks like this. And if you do add all employees, just so you'll know, it will pop out this box, and then you will see the word yes or no. And if you select yes, it does it immediately. This is the org dashboard again, and now I can see my test employee, her job title, the template. Yes, it was sent. I need to click on the share. There's a couple of other things that we can do on this page. We can continue to add more people. We could also recall this. Maybe we didn't mean to send it to that person. And then after you shared, what you're going to find is it's going to give you updates automatically. Let's say I go in and I'm checking in on my goal. Well, it's going to automatically update and let you know where I am in the process with this. If you clicked on any of these are hyperlinks that would then drive you over so that you could see that particular page. And then, Wes, for you, what I did, I clicked on in progress here so that I could see what that looks like for you. So you have your goal set here. 2 goals have been added. But once the employee comes in and starts adding things, and once the supervisor starts adding their comments as well, you're going to be able to see the rating. So employee rating, supervisor rating. This is that 9 box, that leader box. This is going to be what we see. For this one, removing employees from a cycle, this is something I've already kind of showed you, but I wanted to show you the full boat. Drop down, select recall from the drop down button, and then you'll see it appear here, but you're not finished. You have to then come up to the recall button and then select yes. And what we want is this green confirmation to pop out. It'll come at the top of your page, letting you know that you recalled that successfully. Both administrators and supervisors can do this inside of this Perform system. And I wanted to address just for a couple of seconds here. There are a few questions that come in every single time we teach this, and one is, when should I recall a cycle or a review? When should I recall one? So the typical is if there was a mistake made. So a mistake occurred whenever the employee was going through the performance, or maybe there was a change made to the template after it was assigned to the employee. Maybe the manager can't get in and do something to complete it. You might want to recall it. But what happens after you recall one, and please, if you're taking notes, write this one down. When you recall a template, guys, it is going to reset that template. It will not keep any of the entries that your employees and your supervisors have made. Therefore, they are going to have to redo that whole cycle and the template again. Who can recall templates? Your administrators and your supervisors. And here is the admin users again. If this is how you would come in and find who you want. So right now I'm just looking at my active employees. And Coker is going to show students again who are not assigned to supervisors, and that's fine because you guys aren't assigning the cycles. Therefore, you don't need a supervisor assigned to do everything. But I do want to talk to you just really briefly. The active employee self-service information on the general page, that is the key component to bringing your employees over. If they do not have an employee self-service login and they're not actively well, it's going to bring them over, but we need them actively logging into the system so that they can then go to Share and Perform, and they will be inside of your system. If you ever update Perform, so you ever come in here to Perform and you're doing updates, if you have not created the changes in iSolved, it will override Perform.